Hi, it's Miss Christine, and I wanted to talk today about division. For some reason, division tends to be really hard for a lot of students, but it really shouldn't be. Remember, division is nothing but multiplication backwards, the way subtraction is addition backwards. And as you get older, square roots are squares backwards. So that every time you can go forwards, you can go backwards. So when we have but they say, oh my goodness, it's so hard. And it's just really a mind game. So let's take something really easy as going forwards. 3 times 2 is 6. So when we have, and they all work together, it's all a big family. So it's 6 divided by 2 is 3. And 6 divided by 3 is 2. So division can be shown multiple different ways, which is why it's so beautiful to me. So this right here is the proper mathematical sentence. So that would be like Christine, sweet Ellen. It's just the proper way to write it. But we don't always write properly. So we can do this the common way to do it for common for younger kids is to write it like that, where we have 6 divided by 2 is, of course, 3. And this is common for young. Yeah, I don't know why that's not making the end there. Common for young, or trying to figure it out, to figure it out. So the next way is common for high level math. And that is 6 divided by 2. Yes, oh my goodness, you say, but that's a fraction. That's all a fraction is. A fraction is nothing but a division problem that nobody has solved yet. And here, we're going to take that and simplify, divide both by 2 to get 3. Oh, you can't really see that number with that color. So those are the different ways we can see. To reiterate, let's do a different one. Oh, I wanted to change color, didn't I? Okay, so we can have 10 divided by 2 is 5. We can have 10 divided by 2 is 5. Or we can have 10 divided by 2 equals 5. There are all different ways to say the same thing. Okay, so now, when you're thinking about division, you need to know the multiplication facts well, so that you can do this. I flip it around and say, what times 2 gets you 10? What can 10 divided by 2 is 5? Or what, you're just thinking about how they all go together. Now, a really silly way, I think I'm the only person on the face of the earth that's ever done that, but when I was a kid, instead of counting sheep, or whenever I would go to bed, I did the multiplication table in my head. And originally I started doing straight facts, but as I got older, and even now, I decided on a pattern. Like I'll go in a diagonal down the multiplication table. Sometimes I try to imagine what a tree might look like and do the multiplication facts in those patterns. But it's really important to know them. When you can do them that way, you can do them backwards. It makes it easier. So what about if we have long division? And long division is where a lot of people get really confused about. But let's take, and there's a lot of different ways to do long division. Let's take the way that you and I learned when we were a kid. And I know there's a Common Core way. And actually, that's the way I taught my kids how to do it. And they were doing long division in their heads when they were 7 and 6 years old. So you can do the long division in your head in the new Common Core math. It's just another way. There's at least 5 different ways to do every math problem. So And please let your kid know that there's 5 different ways to do every math problem at least. And just because your teacher says to do it one way doesn't mean it's the only way or the best way. It's the way they want you to do it today. But if you know more than one way, then you can switch out. So it's really important. Put them on the phone. It's really important you listen to your parents and you learn the different ways to do math. Because next year a different teacher is going to teach different ways. So just learn different ways. Okay. So let's do a long division. Let's start with the simple long division to start with. Okay. 9, 5. Okay. I'm just randomly making up numbers, and that's why my 8 looks really bizarre, because I didn't know what was going to go there. So that goes with our first question. So first we're going to look at this space. I don't want to do that looks like a 0. We're going to look at that space. What times 5 gets you 4? Nothing. So we have to then go into our bigger thing. So if you think about what times 5 gets you close to 48. The answer is going to be 45. And this is why you need to know the multiplication tables, because you have to know how you're going to get close. And we know that 9 times 5 is 45. Okay, so we want to get a remainder. What's left? How close are we? What's left? And there's a 3. Now, I didn't learn the arrows. I kind of like the arrows to keep things straight. So what times 5 gets you close to 39? And that would be 7. So 7 times 5 is 35. And we have a remainder of 4, and then we're going to bring that down. So what times 5 gets you 45? And we know it has a 5 or a 0, so it has to be even, and that's going to be 45. And then we have a 9 there. So the answer is 979. And there's different ways to do that. I don't want to make this video too long, because we could be here for hours, and nobody wants to do that. So try that out. Tell me whether it works or not, and if you want to see the different methods, I'd be glad to show you. Thanks a lot, and have a fantastic day.